Okay, so by popular request, I've been asked to show some of my cooking and how I cook. People found out I can cook. What you've seen me do so far is slice up an onion and smash up some garlic. Now I'm going to run a knife really quick through this garlic, get a nice loose chop on it, and then I'm going to take it down to a mince. Anytime I use onion, I generally use garlic, and vice versa. They marry very well together. We're going to be making a pasta with a cream sauce. That's my goal here. So I'll fast forward through mincing the garlic. Alright, so I have the garlic minced. Now I'm going to mince in my sliced onion. Try and get that kind of small. I want this stuff to almost go away. When it's cooked, it'll definitely turn translucent. Alright, so now that I got my seasoning team all nice and diced, we're going to move that to the side of the cutting board. And break out the other star player for this, which is going to be pancetta. Pancetta is an Italian ham product, kind of a lot like bacon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this down. I got 3 slices of it, pretty thin slice. You can get it from the deli counter at like Kroger's. I know it sounds exotic, it's not that bad, and it tastes really good. It gives a nice saltiness to it without having to actually add in salt. So I'm just doing a rough chop on these. I want these a lot larger than the minced up herbs. Okay. There we go. So I got good sized pieces of pancetta here. They're about 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. Okay, I'll check in with you when we get over to the pan. Alright, so all we've done at this point is move the onions and garlic into the pan. Now, to get these to caramelize a little bit, I'm going to hit them with some salt, and I also want a little bit of pepper in that flavor. We don't have heat on yet, but we will soon. Since this is going to be a pasta dish, I have to go ahead and I have a pot. All I've added to it so far is water. We're going to go ahead and crack just a little pepper in there because my water doesn't come flavored. We're going to throw a little bit of salt in. Now I'm using fresh pepper. If you're using like this kind of pepper, the kind that comes pre-ground, don't worry about adding it to your water. It's not going to pick up any of the flavor. What we're picking up from the peppers, like the oils and stuff it releases. And I'm going to put about a teaspoon of canola oil in there, just to help the noodles from sticking together. Alrighty. So we got heat on high for that. Now, over to our sauce. We're going to take some margarine. I use margarine instead of butter because it's a higher smoke point. Doesn't burn as fast. You want a good amount of margarine. Say probably 2 to 3 tablespoons. Tablespoons, not teaspoons. We're going to crank this heat on high and let that butter cook down. Okay, I'm going to take my fork and start moving this around. We want this to cook down till the onions are translucent and the garlic's translucent and all the butter's melted. Now, I wasn't adding fatty to this. I would put probably 1.5 times the amount of margarine inside it. We'll do another conversation on onions and garlic. I'll go ahead and add pancetta and pellet. We'll use the natural fat from that and add into it. Put the pancetta. If I try caramelizing the pancetta in the pan, it would just burn the pancetta to death. So I'm looking for this to turn nice and translucent. Nice and translucent is what I'm going for. Translucent quality will see through the onions. Keep them moving so they don't stick and burn to the bottom of the pan. Okay, they're starting to lighten up a little bit, just a little butter. Okay, so my onions are starting to be see-through. That's where I want them. I'm going to cut the heat back to medium-high heat. And then in goes the pancetta. And I'm going to work that in. Get it all nice and broke down. Now we're going to keep going until the onions and the garlic get golden brown and the pancetta is just a little crispy. Our water's still going in the pot over there, has not came to a boil yet. Now you're going to be amazed how fast this sauce goes together once the prep work on it's done, and how simple it is to make. All these things, other than the butter, well, the margarine I've put in so far, are all optional. They're all just seasonings. We're starting to pick up a little bit of that golden brown color on the onions. The pancetta is starting to get a little cooked. I'm going to go ahead and take my heat back up to high. Now, you want a little bit of that liquid oil in there, so I'm going to have to add just a smidge more butter to it. The pancetta didn't put out as much oil as I would have hoped it would. So I'm adding about another tablespoon. Alright. So now we got some moisture in the bottom of the pan. We'll take and actually use dried parsley flakes. The dried parsley flakes, I rather use fresh, but you can't always keep it on hand, unfortunately. Let's go add just a little bit of color, and it's going to give it a nice brightness. Okay. So we're there. The pancetta is reduced down. The onions and the garlic are nice and browning, and you got it swimming in that butter and oil. This is how fast it goes together. Now, I'm going to use a little bit of heavy whipping cream. You can use just regular milk, but this is going to add a little bit of richness to it. Just like that. We'll finish off with heavy whipping cream. High heat still, stir it in good. Get that all incorporated. We're going to reduce the heat down to a medium low. Okay, we need a little more moisture in that. I'm going to hit it with some milk. Incorporate it real well. And you have a nice white cream sauce for your pasta. A little milk, a little butter, a little bit of seasoning. That's all it took. Going to let this simmer, get all happy together. It's going to help rehydrate those parsley flakes. Waiting for the water to come to boil. I'm going to stand back and have a vape again. We'll go ahead and pull this off so I can use the larger burner to get my water to a boil. What you're about to learn here is check for all your ingredients before you start cooking. Right on here, guys. You got some rolling down? We got a low boil going right now. I want that to get a little higher boil before I put the noodles in. So I'm going to be using dried store brand angel hair pasta. If you're using fresh pasta, it'll cook up faster, a little fluffier sometimes, but you still can get the dry pasta nice al dente. Take a bunch, break it in half, into the water it goes. Now I didn't quite have enough in that air box, so we're going to go ahead and open this one. Rule of thumb is around about 1 inch per person. Alright, now we're going to let that go and get nice and soft. You don't want to overcook it. You still want it to have some firmness to the noodles, but you don't want crunchy noodles. So I'm just going to keep poking at it. Like if I were to pick up a noodle right now, you see how it's kind of rigid? It's not done yet. It doesn't take very, very long for it to get done though. Now, when I'm cooking pasta, I try never to put more than half the pot full of water so that it doesn't get all that starch and foam over. They're still kind of stiff, but you can see they're sagging much more. That's getting closer to being done. I'm looking for the bend right there. Okay, this is where I would like it. It's actually bending the whole way around. My girlfriend likes it a little softer, so I'm going to keep going for a couple more minutes. Okay, we're there to where she likes it. The noodles are bending all the way over, so we're good. What we're going to do is we're going to cut the heat. We're going to take this over to the sink and drain off the water. Okay, so I've drained off the water. I did not take the noodles out of the pot. We want to leave that gluten in there. And we're going to take our sauce we made, just pour it over the whole mess, and stir it up. Now that's going to let our flavors marry a little. The leftover starch from the noodles is going to help thicken up the sauce just a tad, but it's going to make those flavors not so flat. Alright, I'll see you over at the table for plating. Okay, so we got our plate set out here. We're going to put our fork on it. Now, these are crostinis. They're basically toast with seasoning on it. It's fine, baby. It's fine. Just set them there to look nice and pretty. Now, you're going to have a lot of sauce in this pot. Take the noodle scooper. Get a good amount there. Let it drain off some of that extra sauce. And take it and put it right over the blade of the fork. And one more. You got your 2 scoops of pasta, your inch of pasta. That's your plate. Enjoy.